Hello and welcome to Won't Be Forgetting That, a podcast talking about all of the most awkward and embarrassing moments people have had whilst working in the arts and entertainment industry. I'm your podcast host, Seb Muirhead, and today we have a guest. They are an actor, a writer, a director, Seon Williams.
Why did you say director with a question mark sound to it?
So this is, first of all, as well, I want to bring up the sort of prerequisite saying that I know that I'm saying Seon's name wrong. That is how I have been asked to say it and how we say it as well. It's meant to be soon, right?
Korean, yes, but that's the traditional pronunciation of
exactly.
it.
So people don't fucking come after me. Secondly, Seon has never listened to any episodes, so doesn't know that I do that at the start of every episode.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, also, look, to be honest, you don't pay enough for my friendship to cover that cost of listening.
I don't pay
to
for
you.
anyone's friendship, although it is taxing on your behalf.
Yeah, I'm not going to deny that, yeah.
How dare you? No, that's fine. It's understandable and true. Mm-hmm. Now, I do usually like to start this podcast off with a compliment for my guests, which is going to be really hard after that. But I will strive professionally and push through and do it, I suppose. Because I bring on my guests onto this podcast, and it's usually, them talking about their lowest and worst points in their career, which is never what I want to, show for my guests. I bring on people that I genuinely admire and I'm fans of their work. Don't give me that look for anyone not in the room just now, which is everyone. I just got a very bitter look there. But I do think you're very talented as well. That's not the compliment. That's just truth.
Are you compliment sandwiching this? Is that what's happening?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think so. I know what it is. Don't mansplain compliment sandwiching to me. Thank you very much.
You sounded confused. I was
I
concerned
always
for you.
am confused. I'm scared and confused
Okay,
all the
sorry.
time. But I was going to say, so from any of those previous titles that I read out there, that's not what any of the ones that I want to compliment you on. I want to compliment you on your casting ability. Because you casted me in a short film that you made, I want to say, 5 years ago now, maybe?
About that, maybe,
Yeah.
yeah?
And I think that I was cast perfectly as the romantic lead of your short film, which has gone on for, honestly, pretty big success on YouTube.
It's like 33,000 views now, I think.
Which for a short film is
it's doing
crazy.
all right. My favourite memory in relation to you in that is that we had the three women come on as the office workers for that one day. And they arrived staggered times, not by choice, just by accident. And every single one, as they walked in, when they worked out which character you were, they were like, yeah, you're great for that role. I can see that. Yeah. Basically, everyone agreed that you were a creep.
For the romantic lead.
No. But I and then later on, actually, I don't know if I told you this, when you were doing the walking scene down the hallway and singing the Name Game song.
Oh, yeah.
Jake and I were hidden in the toilet watching the playback, and Jake leaned over and whispered, he's really creepy. This is great. And I was like, I don't think we should tell him that, because I think he's heard that he's a creep a little too much this weekend, and I think he's going to get a complex.
Look, as well, this is a little joke. I was somewhat of a creep in the film. A little bit of one. Mm-hmm. But I knew most of the women that you were talking about beforehand, so I think that they were saying it as a compliment because they could see my acting prowess as that creep. One of the women I'd never met before, unfortunately. So
if that's what you need to tell yourself to sleep at night, then yes, it was completely based on your acting talent.
That is what I need. And then I didn't know that last part about you and Jake sitting in the cupboard until now. So
it was a toilet, actually, but yeah.
Was it a toilet?
Yeah.
I mean, that's weird.
Well, it was the only place that was close by, I think, for the range of the playback. And,
okay.
Yeah.
So this was a little short film that you wrote
Yeah.
about stalkers and people stalking each other.
And a serial killer.
And a serial killer.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not going to give away the ending. I'm going to link it in the show notes.
Amazing.
So all you beautiful perverts can go and watch it and tell me if you did think I was either the creep or the romantic lead. Just let me know. Either way.
¿Por qué no los dos?
Yeah. What?
Why not both?
Oh, why not both? No, one or the other. One or the other.
Creep, then. Okay.
Oh, fuck. No, why not both? But I didn't know that until now. So
yeah.
I think that's probably my acting ability, right?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
I also feel like none of what I said there was really a compliment to you as well. So my apologies.
No, but that was very nice of you to spruik the film, so thank you.
There you go. Called Stalk on YouTube.
Yes.
Yep.
Although in your accent it sounded like you said stock, stalk.
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 No, somebody was bringing me up on this the other day. I say it as calm. Do you say calm?
Well, I don't...
Anyway, this is...
I don't push that far on the L.
No.
Sorry, guys, I have ADHD. This is going to be a fucking wild ride.
We've really gone on a tangent for quite early in the podcast as well, I'll be honest with you. Let's bring this back on track. How about that?
Sure.
So I have all my go-to questions I usually ask everybody at the start of the podcast as well. I know you've come with some pre-prepared questions.
Yeah.
Actually, do you have any questions for me?
What are you doing? No, I have my trauma list ready to go in case I forget because ADHD.
Yeah, beautiful. So just in case anybody didn't hear that as well, Seon has ADHD. If you ever meet her in real life, tell people in about the first 1 minute of meeting them.
Well, it explains a lot, like why I interrupt and why I go on tangents. And
why you're constantly distracted by people outside of the window just now.
We have to take a photo of this so everyone can see what has been required to maintain my attention. Yep.
Seon genuinely has blinkers on just now.
It's a whiteboard, but it's serving that purpose, yeah.
Yes. But I will get into my questions that I have for...
Sorry, yeah.
No, you're fine. For predominantly actors, I feel like a lot of the time that I'll ask these questions. The go-to questions, and I'm sure all these people that listen to this every week are sick and tired of me asking it, but it's such a wealth of embarrassment and awkwardness and horribleness. But the TV commercial auditions are always the worst. I don't know if you have anything from that pool. I mean, you book a lot of commercials. A lot more than me.
No, the more awkward part, I think, is like filming these self-tapes that end up being this weird little short film, and like quite often there's not even dialogue and it's just you...
being a mime.
Yeah, and you're like, I feel like a fucking idiot.
In your house by yourself, and
Yeah.
then you're like, you have to watch it back.
My favourite thing, though, was in lockdown when there was other dialogue required. So I would pre-record the other person's lines and then play back on a laptop to then act opposite myself. Yeah,
look,
that was fucking awkward.
If you're starting out in the industry, do not do that. Lockdown is a different thing, obviously.
Yeah, this was lockdown.
But do not find a friend, find a partner, find a mum, find a son.
Anyone, literally.
Yeah.
Go on the street and just ask for help.
Yeah, but not allowed to do that during lockdown. So
No, that
you make do with what you have.
That was the challenging part.
Yeah.
Or when there's like a turnaround of like 24 hours.
Yeah.
It's like, what am I supposed to do? What do you want from me?
Like, you get home and they're like, can you dress up as a doctor? And I was like, no. Why would I have a lab coat? Or
it's
scrubs?
Or it's like dark already. Like, can you film it out in your car? No,
Yeah.
it's pitch black. Do you want to be able to see? Fine, whatever. Okay.
I did one fairly recently as well where they're like, can you jump through a window? And I was like, no, I can't.
I can't believe you didn't do that.
None of my windows open like that. They're all like the little twisty windows which only open a slither.
So you could have
I mean, I could have
squeezed yourself out.
I could have smashed through the window, but I didn't get the job. Maybe that's why I didn't get the job.
Exactly. You didn't break a window in your house. You're not truly dedicated.
No,
That's
I wasn't.
all on you.
And also, I was like, yeah, guys, look, I'm all fine for doing this, but like, this comes with a slightly higher risk. Can you at least like pay me to do the audition?
I do think self-tapes should be paid.
Yes, that
Not
would
at
be
the
lovely.
same fee of
Yeah.
like a callback or obviously the actual job, but that's still our time and our resources.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of effort, to be
Our
honest.
equipment, our editing software.
Exactly.
Our props that we all have that
And also
drawer
because
of.
all these self-tapes were like a Band-Aid solution for the lockdowns to
Yeah.
continue in the industry. And now that we're no longer in lockdown, it's like, well, what are we doing, guys? This is...
What are we doing?
Yeah.
That's what I keep asking myself
Yeah,
every
what
week.
is this?
What am I doing here just now? I hate it. No, I don't. I love it. I'm joking, of course. Please cast me in more things.
Your desperation's so cute. Oh
So
my God.
I heard that's what casting directors want a lot of the time.
Desperation?
Yes.
Okay. So they just like seeing people suffer and beg.
I think so. I think that from what I've understood, that's why I book no jobs.
Interesting.
Because I'm not desperate enough, so I always need to go into my next audition
Are you
more
sure
desperate.
you're not? You reek of it.
No, that's just mostly sweat.
Oh,
It's
all right.
been a busy day already.
Awkward, okay.
Not awkward, it's healthy and natural. Mm-hmm. Anyway, we'll move on to embarrassing stuff for you. Now, I don't know if you came with prepared stories in a certain order or anything like that.
No,
I usually
I
ask
just-
if we can leave probably the most salacious one till the end.
I don't know if I have anything truly salacious. Like,
Okay, well, thanks for coming on the podcast as well. We'll wrap that up at 10 minutes.
I just have like lots of little awkward encounters that like, because I think...
I know, I've met you before as
Yeah,
well.
I know.
Yes.
No, because my anxiety means I just tend to like back away. I'm like, this is weird. I'm out. Like I remember once, it was a theatre show audition, and the address they gave me, I got there, and the building just looked abandoned and locked up, and I could not find the front door.
Oh, wonderful.
So I ended up going home and messaging them like immediately and being like, oh, I'm really sorry, guys. Like my car broke down, so I couldn't make it.
Did they get back to you? Be like,
No.
Oh.
So that's what I mean. Like I just like back out. Like
Also, if it was an abandoned building and they didn't get back to you, Was this real?
I mean, I think it was probably like an organ grab, but
Yeah. Oh, nice. Well, congrats
Potentially.
on having all your organs.
thank you so. Oh, yeah, minus an appendix, but yeah.
Oh, wait, did they take your appendix?
Yes. Yeah, no.
Name and shame these people.
In
This
like
industry
year
takes enough
6
already.
When I had my appendix out, that's the only thing I'm missing.
Okay, well, maybe that's why they didn't want you. You're not whole.
And my wisdom teeth. Sorry, yeah.
Oh, so you're missing loads of stuff.
I am.
That's probably why you're in the arts.
Yeah,
because you're
actually, to
missing
be
so
honest,
much.
actually, yeah.
Yeah,
That and validation.
yeah. Well, good luck getting that.
All right.
No, I'm joking. Everyone, please message Seon after this.
Are you going to be desperate on my behalf? That's
Yes.
so nice of you.
Please DM away. Jokes, of course, please do not. I've turned up to a couple of auditions before as well, where I'm like, firstly, I always try and it's like, it's more so with like the independent stuff, where I'm like, don't have this at a private residence.
I hate that.
Yeah, because that is legitimately scary.
And as a woman as well, I'm like, cool, this
Yeah.
is where the search starts if I go missing.
Yeah, for sure, right? And like, just purely from a safety standpoint, I say no, because I'm like, well, if I'm saying no, hopefully other people are as well. But yeah, it's
Not when I first started out, like when I
Yeah,
was
I
younger
was the same.
and not very good at advocating for myself. I remember I ended up getting cast in it and became very good friends with the writer and the actor.
No, don't tell positive stories of this.
So, hang on. But when I first had the address, I was like, I messaged my then partner and I was like, this is where if I go missing, you start here. And because I was so concerned and wary, I went into the audition like really aggressive.
Wow.
And just started kind of making fun of the people running the audition because I was so terrified and so unsure about how to be like, hey guys, BT dubs, this isn't a great way to run an audition at
Yeah.
a residence out in an outer suburb of Melbourne as well. Like this is terrifying. So.
Yeah, no, don't do that. I mean, if you're starting out as well, I mean,
Don't
like,
do that.
there's so many spaces you can hire for like
Exactly.
$10 an hour.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
It's just terrifying.
I also turned up for this other audition once as well, which was like very low paying, but it was still paying for a video game. And I was like, oh, sick, I'd love to be in a video game. And I turned up to the audition space and there was nobody in the room. And I sat there for like 5 minutes and I messaged them, no reply. And like, there was no signs of life in the room. Like, there wasn't like, I don't know, bottles of water or like a sheet saying, hey, we'll be back in 5 or anything. So then I was like, I suppose I'm just gonna go home.
That makes sense.
And then 2 hours later, they messaged being like, yeah, we're in the room. And I'm like,
No,
you weren't then. And they're like, no, we were. And I was like, what do you mean you were? I was in the room. There was only one room. And then it was just like this weird back and forth where I was like, well, obviously they're not going to cast me now because I never did the fucking audition.
Weird that.
Yeah, funny, huh? But then also I'm like, I'm just arguing with these people about if they were in a room or not that I was in. I'm like,
Maybe that was the audition to see how much shit you'd put up with. Maybe that was.
that's every audition, I feel
Honestly,
like.
yeah. I went to an audition and it was at a residence. Fuck me. And
Nice.
it was for a music video, so no dialogue,
Okay.
no scenes to do or whatever.
What did you have to do for an audition for a music video?
They were like, so we want you to pick an animal to be. And I was like,
Ah.
okay, no problem. So I picked an animal.
Sorry, which
then-
animal?
I went with a dragon
Oh,
because
okay.
earlier that day we'd been talking about like the Chinese zodiac.
Yep.
And because I am Year of the Dragon anyway.
Oh, humble brag.
You are too.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's what popped into my head immediately. And then they ran a few things like, oh, how did dragon do this? How did dragon do that? And then the last one was, oh, okay, now how would a dragon have sex? And I was like,
What?
this is very uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. And it had been a concern because when I first walked into that audition, the setup was just a room in the house and
Yep.
a camera aimed at the couch. And I was
Casting
like,
couch.
that feels really uncomfortable. And then they asked me that question and I was like, all right, I guess I'll be an awkward dragon pretending to have sex.
See, this is the thing now as well, because I presume earlier in your career, like you said, yeah?
I mean, yes. I mean,
Yeah.
look, I landed it, so
Congrats.
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know
Oh.
either, to be honest with you. But it's that kind of stuff where you're like, you can say no to stuff. But when you're starting out, you feel like you can't say no
can't,
to
yeah.
anything.
Well, because you're like, I don't want people to think I'm not grateful. I don't want
Yep.
people to think I'm not open to ideas. It's just that's a shit idea, but like,
It is a shit idea.
It
And also,
was.
don't ask people that as well, because
it's
it
weird.
might seem like it's funny to you, but you're like, hey, guess what? We're also humans. So, like, we can feel emotions, and
Yeah.
afterwards we feel embarrassment and shame.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's not do that.
yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I do remember walking into another audition and there was only like one person who was running the
fuck.
camera and being the reader and also assessing me as I went. And I was like, this is a kind of unprofessional setup.
Okay, right. What was that then? Let's get this out of the way.
It was this short film called That's Batman.
I'm also going to link that in the show notes. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was written by and starring some guy named Sam Moohead.
Yep, that's my stage name.
Also, I do remember because like this was the first time we'd obviously met.
Yes.
I remember walking in and I was like, this is bullshit.
Look, a little bit of a peek behind the curtain for all you beautiful perverts listening, all right? The producer had gone to the wrong venue and the director was stuck in rehearsals. So it was just me running the first 45 minutes of auditions, which unfortunately Seon was in that time slot. And unfortunately, Seon was later in the film as well. I don't know why I voted against her, but I got a 2-1 vote. The other two wanted you. I was like, anyone but her. She was so mean to me in the audition.
We did a bit of improv, actually, I remember.
Yeah.
And I was a bitch in that because my character was meant to be like a little uptight. And
Your character was kind of like I don't want to say like antagonist, but like not a particularly loving partner.
No, just not super supportive.
Yeah. But you're welcome for the exposure you got through that
Thank you
short
so
film.
much.
No, but I am grateful. Thank you for doing that short film.
My favorite part though was afterwards. The director like emailed everyone and
Yep.
was like, "Hey, I'm looking forward to this. I'm so glad to have met everyone." And I was like, "You didn't, but okay, sure, let's do this."
Oh, after the
After the audition, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, "Okay,
he virtually met you. You just didn't meet him.
sure." He watched
Yep.
the playback.
Yeah, exactly,
That was
right?
the equivalent. Sure thing. Yeah.
Look, you got cast, okay? All right, what else do you want?
I'm just meant to be grateful. Okay, sure thing.
You got 2 meals a day on that set.
Did we?
You drove all the way back from Canberra for it. And yes, you did. Thank you very much.
Oh, it was a wedding, was it? Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that now. Yeah.
But yes, that was, again, it was in a public venue at least.
I love how the stories that I've told so far, most of them have been actually embarrassing for you and not me.
I think most of them have made me out to sound like a creep, which for the record...
Is
I'm
accurate.
editing this podcast so I can take all of them out. And secondly, I was acting every time. So, yeah.
Actually, I do remember saying to you when we met at that audition,
Yep.
you were like, "Yeah, no, I'm in it as well." And I was like, "Oh, who are you playing?" And you were like, "Batman." And I was like, "Are you going to keep that accent?"
How dare you? How dare you? Why don't you do an American accent in it as well then?
What?
I'm sorry, this is just us arguing now.
It is, sorry.
This is awful.
This is what you get for having friends on your podcast.
But I'm going to link this short film in the show notes as well. And I want people to write in, say which one you preferred more. Yeah, see?
Mine or yours?
We'll have a battle of short films.
All right, sure thing.
Mine has Mark from Auntie Donna in it. Who does yours have in it? Me, the worst person you could have got.
Pretty much. Although, how many views does yours have?
Anyway, have you got any other stories?
Yeah.
No,
how about
sorry.
that?
We'll move on. We'll move on. You've done a lot of live performances as well. I think you
Yeah.
described yourself as a theatre kid before the microphone started recording, or maybe even on mic. I can't remember anymore. I have brain damage from stunts.
Mm-hmm.
So with live performances comes fuck ups. Do you have anything that really sticks out to you in your memory for live stuff? Because you do roughly 36 theatre shows a year.
37 actually.
37,
but that
sorry.
was pretty close. Well done.
Yeah, I've done my research.
Most recently, I remember I was performing outdoors and it was just so hot. I was melting, like literally melting.
Why perform outdoors in Melbourne? It's either raining, you're getting attacked by some sort of like bee or wasp or mosquito, or it's like 42 degrees.
Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah.
But I felt so bad. But one of the other guys in the cast had this big like flowing robe as his costume.
Oh, yeah.
And so in like the between scene breaks, I was just going up there and like using it as like the bottom of it was like a sweat rag because I was just dying. I was absolutely dying.
At least it was the bottom and not like the top part.
Oh yeah, that's near his
Yeah.
face. He would have seen me do that. That would have been uncomfortable.
Oh, so he didn't know that you were using...
I'm not sure if he knew or not, to be perfectly honest.
Do we want to tell the story?
He'll be fine with it either way.
Okay, well, it has to be. It's in the past
Yeah,
now.
it's already happened. Too late. What are you going to do? Undo it?
Also, for any new performers, you can bring a towel in and leave it outside of stage if you need a sweat rag.
This was, like, when I say between scenes, we were hidden behind a set piece on the stage.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm hearing excuses.
That was it. Although, an earlier show I did, there was 3 of us on stage, and one of the actors had been in they were riding their bike and a car had hit them.
That day?
Like 2 days before we opened.
Holy shit.
They went on stage with a broken arm. It was actually very impressive. Super impressive.
Cast? Sorry, did they have a cast?
Yeah.
Obviously they were in the cast.
Yeah. They wrapped it in like a scarf that suited the costume. And it was interesting because afterwards people were going to the director and being like, that was such an interesting choice, having that character with a broken arm. And everyone was like, yes, choice.
Method.
But in maybe the second performance, I want to say maybe, they were on endone, which is, for anyone who doesn't know, a very heavy prescription drug to deal with pain.
Painkiller, yeah.
Yeah. And so we were basically finished the scene and getting ready to like go off stage for the transition. And they just started the scene again.
Like the scene that you just done?
Yeah, they just started it again.
Interesting
and
choice.
Me and the other actor just like made eye contact and we were like, oh, I guess we're doing this whole scene again then, okay.
Wait, did you do the scene twice in a row?
Yep.
The whole scene?
Yep.
What?
Yep.
Did anyone mention it?
The director did.
Oh, sorry, the director, obviously.
I'm not sure because it's an older show, so I
Yep.
think a lot of the time the audience is like watching the physicality and listening to the tone as opposed to the words.
Is it Shakespeare, is it?
No, it was
Oh.
Oscar Wilde.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So it was like, I think, we just did it again and then we left and we were like, that was fucking awkward, but okay.
This cast member didn't do it for a third time?
No,
Because I would
thankfully.
quite like to see that show, if I'm being
No.
honest with you. Somebody, well, maybe not necessarily on ending, but somebody slowly losing their mind, doing the
I
same
think
scene
it would
over
be
and over
super
again.
interesting. Yeah, probably not for anyone watching it, but for those of us in it trying to work out how to deal with it, for
Yeah.
sure. They also did call me the wrong character name later on in the show too.
That's rough.
And after that show, they were like, I don't think I'll take endone before the shows anymore.
Yeah, I think anybody could have told you that, but good experience to learn live on stage.
That was fun though. That was very fun.
Yeah, and look, unfortunately, you're not the first person to act opposite somebody that's on drugs that's told a story on this podcast. So, par for the course in this industry, unfortunately.
Wow, that's fun for us, isn't it?
At least that person only did it one night.
Yes, although a different cast member completely forgot their dialogue on opening night. The poor thing. Yeah.
That's one of my biggest fears. I think that's every actor's
Yeah,
biggest fear, right?
definitely.
Is that or shitting your pants? Which in the previous episode, we did talk about a little bit with Jimmy Eaton, and I've spoken about it myself as well previously. Like, that's one of the biggest fears, is accidentally shitting your pants. Or, like, obviously accidentally, unless you're doing it on purpose, performance art. But during a performance, no. Now, Seon's giving me a really weird look, which doesn't translate into the audio medium so well here.
It's because if that is a fear of yours, how many times has it happened to you that it's a genuine fear that you carry with you?
So, never happened. But the very first episode of this podcast, I told a story when I was auditioning for a certain company in Melbourne that does Shakespeare, where I almost shit my pants because I had food poisoning. Yep, I had food poisoning the night before, and there wasn't a toilet at the audition space. Again, for anyone starting out, always have toilets at your audition space.
Yes, that would be wonderful. And also for actors, go to the bathroom before you go to the audition.
Well, it was not an ideal situation, okay? So ever since then, I've been terrified that it's going to happen. And like, I don't know about you, but sometimes you get these fucking insane costumes which you need help getting in and out of.
That is true, yeah.
And especially with, I suppose, TV and film work, you don't, even theatre, you don't have times where you can just be like, okay, I need to go to the toilet now, and then go.
No.
You're kind of stuck places.
Every time I perform outdoors, I don't know what it is, but I think it's because I know there's no easily accessible toilet at an outdoor venue. As soon as I get ready to go on stage, I have to pee. The whole show I have to pee. It's the most frustrating thing in the world.
That sounds like a real gamble as well, if I'm being honest with you.
But the thing is, then after the show, I don't have to pee anymore. It's just while it's happening, because I know I can't, I absolutely need to.
Yeah. It's that cycle.
It's the worst.
Whatever reason, the fucking brain's working against
Pretty
you.
much. Anxiety.
Yeah, I mean, I love it as well, obviously.
Your anxiety? You love your anxiety?
No, it's great. It's great. If I feel like I would get it on side, maybe it'll leave me alone.
Sure. Okay.
I'm going to try that.
Okay, yeah.
But I did a TV show a couple of years ago where the costume was like 4 different layers, and the shirt was like, I don't know the best way of describing it, but like it clipped underneath you like a baby's onesie. You know, when it comes under the crotch and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So I had that clipped on, plus all my stunt pads underneath it as well. So it was not easily removable to go to the bathroom. So I was just like, I'm just going to dehydrate myself all day
So
and
smart,
not eat too much. But like,
you got to make the choices, Like, I don't ever drink tea when I'm on set.
Yeah, right.
Because, like, that makes me need to pee immediately. So I'm just like, nope, I'm fine. Now that you've mentioned that. Okay, so...
Yes, please. This is what I love. These stories that keep flooding back during the podcast.
So, backstory. I was previously in a long-term monogamous relationship, like 10 years.
Yep.
And, like, the weekend before we broke up, I shot a short film.
Wow.
And then the weekend after we broke up, I had to go back for reshoots.
On the same short film?
Yes, but I didn't know that was going to happen. It was
the lifestyle between those two shoots.
Really intense. And at that time, my brain was starting to like piece together sort of my action plan for following the breakup. And I was talking to one of my co-stars and just like general chit chat and information gathering. I was like, what suburb do you live in? Because obviously I was going to have to move out.
You were looking for a house actively?
Yeah, I was. Like, because, you know, whatever. And he said his suburb, yada, yada, yada. And then he goes, where are you again? And he's like, where are you and your partner? And I froze because I wasn't ready for that question.
Of course.
And I ended up telling him everything because he saw my face change and he was just like, oh no, what have I done? And I was like, no, it's okay. I was like, no, I'm okay. It's just, and so I told him the whole story. And then I finished it off with like, you're like the 5th person to find this out. And he goes, yeah. Me and Glenn. And I was like, what? And he was like, the mics are on.
Oh, no.
And I look over and the sound guy like waves really sadly at me. And I'm like, oh, okay, Glenn.
Fucking hot mics, man. This, like, and look, we've had some people speak disparagingly of sound recordists previously on the podcast. I'm not going to say who. Jack Brady has his own thing out for them. But if an actor's not on camera, just mute their mic, please. Like,
it was just like, it was like sitcom gold. Like if we, but
did Glenn just like, he's like,
he just looked awkward and uncomfortable. Yeah.
Mute the mic then. You can mute the mic. That's crazy.
The thing is, even in the moment, I could see how hilarious that was, but it was just...
That's nice.
Awesome.
That's a little shining light for quite a rough breakup as well.
It actually wasn't that rough, thankfully.
I mean, more so like a 10-year ended relationship plus moving out and...
Sure, let's say it was rough. It wasn't really.
No, we have to...
Oh, no, it was actually really amicable.
Play the
drama.
victim.
It was terrible.
Yes,
there was so many tears and like so many sleepless nights. It was just so rough.
And you're still not over it to this day as well?
Yeah, definitely. I still cry alone in the corner of my bedroom every now and again over it, yeah.
But that's just because we're in the arts.
Yeah,
it's nothing to do with the breakup.
Yeah, or I'm just bored, looking for something to do.
Yeah, well, if you can cry on cue, sick. Anyway, yeah, I always petrified, like so scared of accidentally going to the bathroom with a hot mic or the mic on.
Me too.
Yeah.
I always ask them to take it off me completely.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, right.
Okay, that's anxiety speaking because like logically I know if I just detach like
the little
it's
knob.
fine. No one will hear anything, but I just panic.
No, I think that's not an unsmart thing to do, but it's like sometimes they're like gaff tape to you and they're running all the way down your leg and you're like, it's going to take me like half an hour to take this off and put back on again.
And so what, you're like, I'll just piss myself?
No, I'll just mute it. There's a mute button on there.
My favorite is when like you get like a younger sound guy who has to mic up a woman and like the best place for it is between the boobs because like the boobs protect it, and he comes at you with like a shaking hand like, I'm just gonna put do you want to do it?
Zero eye contact.
Oh, it's so, and the hand's shaking so much I'm like, you're gonna miss, like you're absolutely gonna miss. It's very sweet.
You're also like darting back and forth as well, making it worse for them.
Obviously, and I'm taunting them being like, oh, you fucking virgin loser. No, of course not. I'm standing there patiently, and then when it clearly becomes too much I'm like, I will stick it on myself. It's fine.
It's fine. I know where this goes on me. It's all good.
It's I know where between my boobs is. It's okay. I got this.
It's also one of the awkward things for the younger guys as well that are doing it when like you have a slightly hairy chest and like, oh, I'm gonna have to put this on the hair, and I was like, yeah, I know that's where it goes.
Fine. No, it's okay.
So, is it gonna be okay? And I was like, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
It'll grow back if it gets ripped out. It's okay. Hair grows.
I know, right? And also you're like, I'm not a very hairy person. Well, I mean, I shave my chest for that reason now anyway. What are you looking at me like that
for? I don't know. It just feels a weird thing. You're like, I'm not very hairy. I swear, everyone who can't see me, I'm not hairy.
Okay, first of all, I did not say it like that. Secondly, I'm not that hairy, all right? Stop messaging me that, guys. Fuck.
My favorite thing was, though, I had this really comfortable costume. I was playing like a hippie role, and I had this big dress and like big cowboy boots on. And the sound guy looked at me and just went, you can probably stick your pack in your shoe if you want.
Ooh, that's
And I was
fun.
like, yes, amazing.
Because a lot of the time, like they clip it into a belt, or you have to wear that weird like
I hate that thing.
waistband thing.
Yeah, I did like an educational video, Lord help me, about training for a marathon. Lord fucking help me. Yeah, so they had to have like 3 bands, and they were like cycling them through so they could like dry them out because I was sweating so much because I was fucking running in every shot.
Oh, you mean bands as in like the
The
for
mic
people
pack
that don't
band,
know,
sorry, yeah.
it's almost like a waist trainer or like
Yeah.
one of those like things that if you hurt your back you strap it around you.
And it holds the mic pack.
Yeah,
And
it holds fluids quite well.
well,
as
yeah, it's like a big sponge basically, a big circular sponge.
So 3, that I mean, I'm a sweaty boy, but that's fucking impressive.
It was summer, obviously, and so I'm running, and it was horrible. And I just kept apologizing to the sound guy because I was like, I'm so sorry, you have to touch this, and you have to touch me. I'm so sorry.
I'm constantly apologizing to costumers because I'm like, first of all, I have sweated through all of your costumes. I don't know if you have any spares, or they're standing there with a hairdryer trying to dry you off
You're
in
like,
between
I'm so
scenes.
sorry.
Yeah, and then secondly, I'm like, I have to give you this all back at the end of the day as
And
well.
it's
Like
gonna
it's so
stink
gross.
and be wet, and I'm
Yeah.
so sorry, and you're gonna think I'm disgusting. It's okay though. I think I'm disgusting.
I know, I hate myself as well. You can't hate me any more than I do.
I promise that we're in the same boat.
Yeah, trust me. But
I
they're always so
apologise.
nice as well.
They're lovely.
Yeah.
Because they're used to it. Like, it happens all the
Yeah, it's
time.
their
Like,
job.
we're not
Yeah.
special for sweating. Like, it's
No.
fine. I usually end up having to apologise to sound guys, actually. Because I'm very loud.
Yes, you are. And it's not just loud all the time, it's spikes. You shoot out some hot streams of sound every now and again.
That was a weird description.
I don't like how I said that. I was really struggling for the words, and I kind of regret saying that, I'll be honest
I
with
really
you.
hope you keep that, though. That was...
Look, I hate editing this podcast. Or
weird.
editing anything, honestly, but yeah.
I did a horror short back in the day, like
Oh.
unpaid, accept everything you possibly can.
Oh, love it.
And I was final girl.
Ah, nice.
I did die in the end, but I was final
Okay.
girl left. And we got to like the big climax scene, like at the very end. And the director said to me, "Okay, I want you to go for it. This is it. You're going to see
Yeah.
the villain here. I want you to yell." And I was like, "Are you being 100% serious?" And he was like, "Yes, I am." I looked at the sound guy and I was like, "I'm so sorry."
Did they get a heads up?
Yeah, I told them.
Okay,
I
cool.
was like, "I'm telling you right now, I'm sorry." And the director
Yeah.
was like, "No, go for it. We really want it." Did the scene. I screamed. Pin drop silence after I screamed.
Yeah.
And the director came up and he goes, "All right, maybe pull it back to a 6." That was too much. And the poor sound guy's like ears are bleeding. I was like,
He's
I'm
dead
so
on the ground.
sorry.
Because like you hear too much with those headphones on when like
You
the,
hear
the sound
everything.
one. Yeah.
And then when he asked me to scream,
Yeah.
like just for reference, quite often on a set, if there aren't enough lapel mics,
Yep.
they leave me to get caught by the boom because I'm so loud.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So like,
I usually quite like my low growl, so I'm always like laved up or lapel mic'd up.
but it's because of theatre. Like
Yeah.
naturally, I'm just louder, so they're always
Gotta
like,
reach the
"We're
back
not-"
of the room
Yeah,
somehow.
like we're not gonna mic you. You're just gonna get caught by the boom, and it's
You
gonna be
are
more than
the
enough.
mic.
I'm like, thank you. Okay, no problem.
I want to go back very quickly as well to your sweaty marathon running.
Great.
Yes, no, not because of that. I was just going to ask as well, because a lot of the time on camera, on film, or even on theatre, you're asked to do a lot of like, not you specifically, but like us as a collective, are asked to do some really weird things, but then especially on camera, you have to repeat it so often, and it's fucking exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
Except from running a marathon. Have you got anything else in memory
Well-
that you've had to do like that?
Okay, so the same people apparently loved working with my sweaty ass so much. They asked me back to do like effects of exercise on the respiratory system as a separate educational
Oh,
video.
okay.
So I went and did CrossFit. Oh my God, which I am not built for.
I think I know this company because I think I auditioned for that as well.
And it was and anxiety and
Yeah.
like unrealistic brain working. But the guys running the CrossFit were like, "Cool, we're going to do some box jump burpees."
Were you doing CrossFit in the video?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Not well at all. Like I had to be helped up on the bar to attempt a chin up, which I can't do, just to clarify. But
Neither
yes,
can CrossFitters. Throwing shade at you fucks.
but yeah, so they were going to get me to do box jump burpees, and they were like, "Wait, you good?" And I was like, "No," and they were like, "You can't do this? And I was like, no, I can do it. I just don't want to. And they were like, why? And I was like, because I am terrified that when I jump off the box backwards and go down to do the on the floor part, I'm going to smack my head onto the box.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that.
And they both just paused and they were like, we've never had anyone do that or say that. I think you're going to be okay. And I was like, well, I will be the first. I promise you now.
Did you?
I think I did, yeah.
Nice.
But I was jumping so far back to avoid them. And I'm not even that tall anyway, but like I was still terrified that I was going to smack my head on the box.
Yeah, nice. I'd be more scared that your knees explode backwards from jumping backwards off a box, if I'm being honest with you. But
great new fear unlocked. Thank you so much.
Well, just don't jump backwards off a box. That would be my... I don't know.
Look, I don't do CrossFit, so
Good.
I wouldn't normally jump backwards off a box anyway.
Well, it's on video now, so you can submit that for all your future editions. Can do CrossFit.
I've actually never seen the footage. I have no idea what I look like doing CrossFit or doing marathon training.
Isn't it so funny sometimes when you do things and then you just never see the footage?
Yeah,
but
it happens a lot.
presumably, like that was for an educational thing which went out to schools.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So like thousands,
I've just never
if
seen
not
it.
tens of thousands of students have seen it before.
And I have no idea what it looks like.
Yeah.
Actually, I got cast in something because the director was like, yeah, I saw you in this film. And I was like, what film are you talking about? And he said it, and I did not recognize the name of it. And he explained the film a little bit, and I was like, oh, I kind of remember that, I think. And I've never seen that film or what my footage for that looks like.
Wow.
But, yeah.
I mean, must have been all right if they cast
Apparently.
you.
Well, it was, I was playing like a very strange character. It was like basically all improv. So I
nice.
just went hell for leather and made a complete dick of myself. Like I did like a dolphin impersonation.
Okay, was that the dolphin as well that was on the casting couch? Like a separate
That was a
one?
dragon.
I know, that's why I said a separate one.
Do you even listen to
Also,
your guests?
very funny, you're the second person that has been on this podcast now who has been a dragon for an audition. So you and Cameron James share that accolade together.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was not asked to pretend to have sex as a dragon, though.
Of course he wasn't. He's a boy.
Yeah. Boys have sex, I think. Let me Google that quickly.
Jesus. I mean, in terms of like what directors and like people will generally ask of women, like particularly when it's like unpaid.
Creepy things at their own
Yeah,
house.
pretty much is what I'm getting
On
at here.
the classic casting couch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that sucks. Also, let's move away from that as an industry and as a people, I reckon. Yeah.
Just as a general societal thing, let's
Yeah.
not be shitty in general to
Yeah.
anyone.
All right. Well, beautiful. You've come to our TED Talk, everyone. Thank you so much.
Go out and be better people. Have a great day.
So maybe we can move on to some of your laundry list of what did you call it before? Your
trauma list?
Your trauma list. Yes, lovely. Did you have anything particularly you want to start off with on it, or have we covered any of it already as well?
Some of it, but I'll just because we're already talking. So the same educational company that did like the fitness videos with me.
Jesus Christ! Did you have any good times with these people?
This was just a funny thing, I think,
Okay.
on their part, that I was a little bit uncomfortable. But
Oh.
I ended up doing other educational videos about China's history,
Okay.
and it was an in-person audition. They cast me on the spot, and they were like, cool, we're going to put you straight into the booth to do the voiceover work now.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, shit, okay. And then I said, just to clarify, I'm not Chinese, I'm Korean. And there was this pause amongst all the white people there, and they went, oh, that's okay. And I was like, is it though? I don't think it is.
They're just whispering to each other like, "You're still Asian, though,
Like,
right?
That's still like a
fine.
kind of Asian.
Is
That's
it?
fine. Like, no, it's totally fine. I was like, all right.
Is Korea in China? Can someone Google that, please?
That's like a
Everyone?
province in China, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. You're all
Yeah,
the
but
same.
You can still speak Chinese, right?
I have had that happen too. I went to an audition and we did the scene. It was in English. And then at the end of the audition, the guy said to me, so what language do you speak? And I was like, this one.
English, motherfucker.
And
I
he
was just
said,
speaking
what
it.
other language? And I was like, a little bit of French. What are you getting at? And he was like, so you don't speak an Asian language? And I was like, no.
Asian language.
Yeah. And he was like, oh. Wow. And I just never heard from him again.
I mean, probably not for the worst by the sounds of things.
Yeah, but I was still like, that was fucking stupid and presumptuous.
But
on
that
your part.
sucks.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, also, like, if you're wanting somebody to do a script in a different language, translate it. Don't expect people to do the fucking work for
But
you.
not just that, also have that as like part of the brief, so
Oh,
we're
obviously,
aware of
yes,
what you
sorry.
want. Like,
Yeah.
Jesus.
What a way to spring it on you as well.
Yeah, at the end of the audition. By the way, can you just bust out a couple of sentences in whatever Asian language you happen to speak, because you're Asian, so you'll obviously speak one?
Just, can you speak Asian for us, please?
What do you mean? Because we're all just like one, the same, you know.
One language, yes.
So one big Asian language.
That's also weird as well, just the presumption for a lot like that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just fucking laziness as well.
But it's weird, the things that it puts in people's heads. So early on, I was doing like an audition workshop, I think, and there was another Asian girl in there. And we were sitting around waiting for our feedback, and she turned to me and she goes, hey, do you get offered roles? And I was like, yeah, sometimes. Why do you ask? And she was like, do you get offered a lot of roles for prostitute?
Oh.
And I was like, I beg your pardon? No. And she was like, oh, because I do. And I thought maybe it was an Asian thing. It's like,
is it?
I don't know.
Okay.
And then she wanted to tell me, she was like, yeah, I also get offered like to come on and be like a dead body for short films. I was like, the fuck is happening here?
It's like she was an actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't know.
Did she give off the vibes of prostitute or dead body?
No,
Okay.
but I think through like a stereotypicalized white person filmmaker eye, she had an accent.
Okay.
And she was very slim, so I think they were like,
right.
she'd fall perfectly into like the category of like, that looks like someone who could have been sex trafficked.
Yeah,
like
right.
human trafficked, and either ends up as a sex worker or as a dead body.
As
Perfect,
dead.
let's go. I was like, oh, that's fucking horrible, you poor fucking thing.
Also, yeah, I mean, terrible. Also, who the fuck wants to play a dead body in
I know,
anything?
what the fuck,
Yeah.
for an unpaid student film.
And you're getting offered that. I'm like, wow, do you think that little of me that you want me to be a dead, like, not even like an alive then dead body, just dead body?
Just dead. Like, you know, the dead body and like the cold open of like a procedural,
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
But then sometimes they get flashbacks. Like,
no flashbacks,
no
just death.
flashbacks, just dead.
death.
Just
yeah.
dead body. Wow, that's brutal as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's lovely getting offered work, but
Is it though?
yeah, she's offer only now.
Unpaid?
No, I mean, like, obviously don't do that. And obviously try and pay people if you can as well. Especially if they're really shitty roles.
Especially then, Jesus.
Yeah, oh dear. Sorry, but we'll go back onto your horrible stuff opposed to people that you know of that have had horrible experiences.
It hasn't been horrible because I haven't been offered the role of sex worker or dead body yet. So that's
Yet.
not an invite.
Yet. Okay.
That's
Never mind.
not an invite at all.
So anyone that was starting to type up an email to Seon, we will not give out their email
Stop.
address at the end now. So, my apologies for presuming that's where this was going.
Another audition I went to, the director just got like really excited and
Okay.
got kind of carried away with the audition, and it was like a fight scene, like an argument scene between me and the person who was playing my love interest.
A verbal fight?
Yeah, it was a verbal
okay.
fight, and then we ran through the scene a couple of times, and each time he was getting me to ramp it up more and more, and it was like a farce, so it was it allowed itself to go that way.
Bit silly, yeah.
Yeah, and then finally the director was like, all right, now this time I want you to do a slap. And I was like, what?
Oh.
Yeah, and I was like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, just slap him. And I was
Like a stage slap?
well, that's what I was like. I was like,
Yeah.
you mean like a fake one, right? And he was like, yeah, of course. And I was like, I don't think you meant that. Okay, weird. So I looked at the other actor and I was like, are you okay with that? And he
Yeah.
was like, yeah, that's fine. I was like, we've never practiced this. I don't know you. You're very tall. I'm very short. The angles here are very awkward. Sure, let's have a crack, because at this stage I was still not prepared to advocate for myself and be like,
Yep.
no, this is dangerous.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
No,
Yeah.
definitely not. And of course, I panicked and completely miscalculated, and I just my fingertip caught his nose. So it wasn't terrible, but
You assaulted another actor in an audition.
and I spiraled. I kept it together
Yeah.
in the audition, but I left. I got in my car and spiraled. I got the role, but
Did that other person?
yes.
Oh, okay. So,
But yeah, I 100% spiraled afterwards, just because it was it was not nice. It was
no,
horrible.
that's not ideal. And also, don't put that on your actors as well.
No.
And also, look, I don't know. I've said this in the past as well before I started properly getting into stunt work, but everyone thinks that they can choreograph stunt fights
They
and
think
stuff
it's
like
nothing
that.
and it's so easy. It's actually not like that
fucking
at all.
ain't.
It's terrifying.
Can I tell a little story that we were both privy to as well one time with a really shit slap?
Sure.
Yeah. We went to go and see the show once together. I'm not going to name names or anything like that, but it was improv. And we were witness to one of the worst improvised slaps I have ever seen in my life. It was not staged properly. So, for a bit of context for people that maybe don't know, you kind of need to, it's called stacking, or you hide the empty space with a slap. So they'd done the opposite of that and shown us nothing but space, or maybe about a foot, 2 feet apart. It was improv as well, so they didn't know the slap was going to happen. It was a really weird back and forth, and it was possibly one of the most confusing moments in watching live theatre I think I've ever had.
Because you could see their brains trying to process through it.
They were not in the moment of the scene at all.
No.
They were fully in the room as actors, trying to work out a way. is this person trying to slap? Oh, no, slap now, like giving
It
a
was
little
like
nod.
eye and facial communication
Yeah.
while still trying to keep up dialogue from the scene, and
Yeah.
it was just the most excruciating thing to
Seon,
watch.
I fucking loved it.
I know you
It
did.
was so good. I mean, it's one of those things where I'd rather watch that than any middling theatre show, any weird experimental
You're so
crap,
weird.
any Shakespeare show.
Actually, to be honest, I enjoy watching theatre that I don't enjoy. Like,
Yep.
I enjoy the experience of watching theatre I don't like.
Yeah.
I think that's...
Like in a way, as in like quote unquote bad theatre. Is that what you mean?
But the thing is, it's not always bad to everyone. It's just
Yeah.
that I don't personally like it, but when it's bad to everyone, that's when it's even better.
Yeah, I kind of like
watch.
that as well.
Yeah.
I'll be honest
Yeah.
with you. It's a really bad thing to say, though, isn't
But
it?
it's
But it's fucking great.
I went to a show out in the suburbs of Melbourne.
Okay, which suburb, which show, who was in it, who directed it, who wrote it? Jokes, of course. Please do not name any names.
And in the middle of the show at one stage,
Okay.
it was a period piece.
Oh,
So
love
just
it.
to, I'm not
Love
going to
it.
be more specific than that.
No.
But in the middle of it, something went wrong in the tech, and suddenly we could hear "My boy lollipop doo doo doo."
So I presume that's what I would consider not a period accurate song. No.
What happened?
Why was that in the playlist?
I don't know. And then we heard them panicking in the
Of course. What happened on stage?
I don't know if they could hear it, but the audience definitely could, which I think makes it even funnier. Like,
I love that. Again, you don't have to answer questions or whatever, obviously, but was the show made better by that?
it made the experience more interesting.
Nice.
I will put it that way.
Very
Something
smart
else.
talk around there.
Yeah. Something else that frustrates me when you see shows like that, though, is when they've made like a set piece that they use for like one scene for all of 5 minutes.
Yep.
We actually went to see a show where they did that, and
Did we?
Yeah,
Together?
I don't think I can describe it without giving it away, but I remember I was so excited when I saw it, and I was like, oh wow, that's so cool looking, and then 30 seconds later it disappeared.
Oh, okay.
was
Wow. I fucking hate this on podcasts, but I'm going to have to ask you when the podcast ends what this show was,
Yeah.
because I don't think I can remember.
No, well, when I remind you of it, your exact words will be, oh yeah, that show was dog shit.
This is no reflection of the podcast, but I'm very excited for the end of the podcast now.
And I know that you will say, yes, that show was dog shit, because that was the first thing you said when we got out of the show.
Oh, great. I do
Yeah.
say that a few times. But unless it's anyone's show that listens to this that I've seen, and I loved your show.
Yes, he's never said that about any friend's show ever.
No,
Ever.
never.
Ever.
Anyway, swiftly moving on, please, before you get me into any other trouble. What else did we have on our trauma list?
A couple of things.
Yes.
So I have met, weirdly actually, I have 2 stories about commercials that involve AFL.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
How many, it's like for the AFL. No, how about tell me and I'll ask questions during it.
yeah, shut the fuck up.
My apologies.
So very early on, I did a one for Foxtel, and
Oh.
Buddy Franklin was in it.
Now that's one of like 3 names I actually know from AFL.
There you go.
So pretty big player.
Yeah.
Pretty big name. Sorry.
Yeah, and this is when he was still with Hawthorn, I think. I
Sure.
don't know. Whatever. And I was in a scene where he was like running through like a beer garden and like high-fiving people.
Okay.
And they did the first run of it, and I was one of the people he was high-fiving, but because he's so fucking tall, they had to put me on a bench.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
so that I
smack you in
could
the
reach.
face.
No, thank God. So they had to put me on a bench so that I could actually reach his hand to high five.
Oh, Seon,
I know,
you
I
got
know.
put on the Apple box.
I did.
How many times? Sorry, slight tangent here. And for anyone not in the industry, an Apple box is, I mean, presumably what it
It's
used to
basically
be.
a booster seat.
It's a booster seat
for standing,
short
though.
arses. You're not the first person that I've acted next to that had to be put on an Apple box, and you're not the last.
Tangent. Do you remember when I did the newsreader voiceover for Stalk?
Yes.
They had to put me on an Apple box because the mic was too high.
The microphone stand could not go low enough for Seon to record dialogue with.
I'm just over 5 foot, in case anyone's unsure. Anyway,
I'm also over 5 foot. I'm 6 foot. You're 5'1". Even
not
maybe
quite.
not?
Almost.
Yeah, right,
Almost.
Okay.
Almost. Shut up.
So you'd be short.
I am short. I'm very
Yeah.
short.
So
but
they had to put you on a bench.
they did, but then it got even weirder. So we did another take with me on the bench.
Okay.
And Buddy Franklin ran past And just as he high-fived me, the director called cut.
Okay.
But instead of just finishing the high five, he just kind of like grabbed my hand.
Oh.
And we just held hands in the air for a couple of seconds. And it was just the most awkward thing ever. I was like, I don't think this guy knows how to high five. What the fuck is happening?
I mean, it's like, that guy's been on camera a load, but never acting. So as soon as you put somebody on camera and there's cut and action and all that
They
kind of
forget
stuff,
how to human?
yeah, everybody completely forgets how to act like a normal person. So he's like, they call cut, so I have to stay here.
Just freeze. And he was just holding my hand.
I'll hold
not
this
even
very
comfortably.
short lady's hand standing on a bench.
It's just so weird. So yeah, that's my first
nice.
fun AFL story.
So you're now best friends?
Totally.
Yeah.
The second one was I did a commercial for McDonald's and the AFL. Their partnership commercial. And it was like a smash compilation of like 6 different places, 6 different people telling one story that didn't quite line up, but whatever.
Yep.
But the words all made sense. Yeah. And I remember shooting it, and it was only like chest up because I was behind like an office partition wall.
Okay.
So you couldn't really see all of me. And
any of you?
Well, just my face, thankfully, was in it.
So they had a partition wall that short?
I was on a table.
I fucking knew it. I knew it.
But we were shooting it.
Wait, was that not the embarrassing part of it?
No! Not even embarrassing. It was just weird. So they were like, it's your shirt's a bit low cut. We're going to tape it up in the front. And
Okay.
I was like, okay, cool, whatever. You couldn't tell. And then we did another take, and they were like, it's actually sitting weird. So we're going to just pin it in the back. And I was like, because it was taped, yeah. And I was like, okay, no problem. And then they couldn't find pins, but they wanted to get the shot really quickly. So the commercial that aired, that is still available, no one knows this, but there's just a dude behind me kneeling down holding my shirt as I'm doing this commercial.
So you're taped in the front and being held in the back?
Yeah.
See, this kind of stuff always amazes me. I'm like, there's so much money that goes into commercials.
And yet there's just a dude holding my shirt and there's tape in the front.
And they didn't run this shirt by anyone else before the shoot?
It was my shirt on top of that.
Oh my God.
Which was even funnier, I guess,
Fuck's
really.
sake,
It
man.
was hilarious.
Just buy a Kmart shirt and get like a costume fitting.
Although that shirt became a meme, like that song of that shirt, that little moment in that commercial became a meme because I said the name Parker really weirdly.
How did you say it?
Parker, because I had a huge crush on him basically in this commercial.
Was that a football player, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know either. They had to show me his face before I started the commercial. Like, this is who we're
I must
talking
know
about.
who this man is who I have a crush on.
Yeah, basically. I was like, whatever, I don't really care. But I always remember that because the director, because I had like 15 words to say in the commercial in total.
Congrats.
Yeah, so many words. And the direction
For a commercial, yes.
Actually, yeah. With 6 people speaking in it, actually quite a bit. But the direction she gave me was like, okay, so you're in your office.
Yep.
And the person you're talking to, like, she's your friend, but you don't really like her, but she's your friend.
Okay.
But you chat with her, like, you're frenemies, because she goes for a different team. And I was like, okay. And she's like, so you need to come at this with, like, a bit schoolgirl, a little bit superior, but fun, and like you're having fun, a little bit catty, but like, you're not bitchy. So yeah, and I was like, that was a lot of direction.
Did you get the A4 piece of paper that had all the bullet points of catty, schoolgirl, frenemies, different team?
It was a lot.
Yeah.
But I nailed it. So,
Oh, beautiful.
yeah.
Oh, so that was just a humble brag then, was it?
Totally.
Yeah, well done.
No, it was just, actually that's one of my favorite things when directors give you like direction. That's like, what am I supposed to do with that? What
It's
are you
open to interpretation.
Yeah, or like my favorite one is just give me more.
Yeah.
More what?
Can we try something different?
Cool.
Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want?
I could set fire to the building. That's different.
A different choice? Great. I'll just leave the shot. How about that?
Yeah, I know, right? I can rap for the day. That's different. Yes.
Although the best way I've heard, here's a tip for everyone. The best way I've heard a director say that the shot wasn't very good was, you got a bit lost in that one. It was just so polite and like so diplomatic because I knew it wasn't good either. But I was like, that was a really nice way of saying that was fucking shit. We're going again.
I appreciate that as well because like if they were like, that was shit. I'm like, yeah, I know, but like let's try and keep a nice working environment.
Yeah.
But also when they're like that, you're like, yeah, like thank you for sparing my feelings. Like I know that was shit, but yeah, that was bad.
I appreciate that you were kind to me. Thank you so much.
I'm going to jump very quickly back to this weird shirt and, well, not even incident, but whatever it was. I did a commercial a good few years ago now where there was a lady in it, and I think she was basically just an extra. Like they really only shot like her back profile for it. I was facing the camera.
Oh, okay.
And she was sitting like facing me, but her back was to the camera, and she was wearing this beautiful red dress, like very like elegant cocktail dress. But they obviously hadn't fitted it for her.
Oh God.
So the front of it was like very low cut, like all the way down to her like I want to say like stomach.
Oh,
maybe,
wow,
even
okay.
her like super low cut.
Like J-Lo style, that green
Yeah,
dress she
like-
wore. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please call in if you know what we're talking about. But it was so low cut, and it wasn't fitted for her. That her breasts keep falling out. Like the dress would just like open, and it was like you couldn't see it on camera.
But you could see it.
But it was facing me, and it was like I felt so bad, and it was so fucking awkward. And she was like, because she didn't have to do anything except from really sit there, and I had all this dialogue to camera for this TV commercial, and she would like try and close it, but like without moving around too much and without making it look really obvious that she's trying to cover her tits up. And I think at the end of it, they had to like Hollywood tape it down to her body, and I'm like, yeah, man, this is like fucked.
Also, why didn't they do that in the first place?
Yeah,
like,
right.
Start there.
Yeah.
Start there.
Insane. And I'm also just like, imagine just going to work one day and being like, yeah, my tits just kept falling out in the office today. You're like, what a fucking weird job this is.
I mean, I can't. Did she say something like, "Hey, this is a problem"?
She was very polite about it, and I think she was also kind of like in that awkward position where she obviously wasn't like main talent, where she maybe didn't
Want to make waves, didn't want
Yeah.
to cause any trouble.
And
yeah.
it happened like once, maybe twice, and then it was fixed. It wasn't like an 8-hour thing. But like I was also quite early on in my career, and I feel like now I would maybe have been like, yeah, come on guys, like if she didn't
Let's
feel comfortable,
fix this,
maybe
yeah.
because I was lead talent or whatever. But at the time I was like, bro, I'm just gonna pretend like nothing's happened and I'm not looking anywhere near there. And
Did you make like really awkward eye contact to make sure to be like, look, I'm not looking down there, I'm looking at your face?
well, because I was delivering straight to camera, so I
Oh.
was barreling camera, delivering dialogue.
That's even weirder.
Yeah, but like just peripherally, just boobs in
Oh,
my
God,
peripheral
yeah.
vision.
And
I was
trying
like,
not to react.
Yeah, because I was like, and it was like I was still very early on in my career as well, so I didn't want to fuck up at all, or
Yeah.
like I didn't feel comfortable in being like, okay, let's fix this first and
Yeah.
move forward. So that was just fucking weird.
That
So
is
like,
weird.
yeah, some commercials are just like they all seem like so last minute, and then so much money on certain things, but then no money on other things as well. It's so fucking bizarre.
I think because like a lot of the time, a lot of them haven't seen the location, the costume, because
Yep.
everything just comes together at the one place at the
Yeah.
last moment, and it's like, this is what we're doing, and it's like, oh God, okay, this actually doesn't work. We have to fix that and do this, and
Even just casting, they're like, this is shooting in 3 days' time. Are you free? I'm like, how would you, like, this is like $100,000 commercial. How the fuck did you not know about this earlier?
well, the thing is, like, the process of like the prep work, it takes so long.
Yeah.
Like the copywriting for the script takes
Yeah.
forever. But the other thing is, and I'm whatever, but
Yes.
like we are a dime a dozen. Actors
well,
are
I
a
know
dime
we
a
are.
dozen. So
Yeah.
we are the last thing they need, and we are so replaceable that they're like, whatever, we'll find someone. Someone will do this for like a peanut butter sandwich and a pat on the back. It's fine.
Oh, bro, like, genuinely,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
It's exactly how. A
Oh,
friend
no,
of
please,
mine.
yes.
A friend of mine.
Sion was very excited for a second there.
This is about like the dangers of the industry.
Okay.
A friend of mine works in marketing and advertising,
Okay.
and knows I'm an actor, and came to me and was like, I've got a commercial for whatever. Do you want to be in it? And I was like,
Ooh.
well, what are the rates? And he said, look, you just give me your rate, and I'll go back to them, and like we'll see how we go.
$350,000.
So I gave him like a very discounted mate's rate for
Okay.
it. And he came back to me and he was like, yeah, that's the whole budget. I can't do that. And I was like, oh my God, what? And I was like, what's the contract? Like, and what is the contract? And my friend was like, well, this will be like the fee will be about $200 for the day's
What?
work. And I was like, for a commercial? And he
That's
said,
insane.
yeah, it gets worse. The footage was in perpetuity.
Okay, that's just. I'm gonna need a minute here.
Uh-huh.
So for anyone that doesn't know as well, in perpetuity means that they can use your footage forever,
Mm-hmm.
which is not okay.
And I don't think there was rollovers either. Like, I don't think.
Yeah, because in perpetuity.
Yeah, like
So,
it's just
yeah.
forever. And
So you should be, as standard, 6 months to a year is usually what they buy it for. If they want to roll it past that as well, they have to pay you again because you're advertising their brand and like, yeah.
your face is attached to it.
Yeah,
You're attached
for
to a brand.
better or worse.
Yeah.
And look, if that brand all of a sudden becomes horrible and does horrible things. You're the face of it.
You're attached to that brand still.
And you've potentially fucked yourself in your entire career. So of course you need compensated for that. And I know people are like, yeah, why are you guys complaining? Like if you get a commercial or whatever, and you're like, yeah, but there's like a million other things.
There's so many other strings attached to it.
So it's like $200 for a day's work. Be like, oh, that's not even that good to be honest with you.
No, not for a commercial. Jesus.
For any fucking
And they're a
job.
decent brand as well. Like, like they're like, this tiny little, no, they're a sizable brand.
Yeah. So it's like, like that is an insult more than anything else. That friend of yours, how fucking dare they?
Pretty much, but the thing is, to keep the budget low, they did the thing where they went around the agents and went straight to the actors and offered the money. And this is actors that are obviously fresh in the industry, yada, yada, yada.
They'll take it. I've made that mistake myself before.
He got 4 of them still. And the lovely thing is, my friend still brought me on set as like a set dresser, so I still got paid for the day. I got paid more than the actors.
I was going to say, presumably more than the actors.
I did.
That's insane.
Yep. And I remember them chatting about like getting this job and being so excited, and I was like, oh, you sweet summer children, you poor things. Okay, cool.
Did you just be like, wait, did you guys say you're getting paid $200 for... I'm $75 an hour.
No, I couldn't do that to them. I couldn't burst their little bubbles. It was so painful
in
to
perpetuity
watch.
as well. Fuck, Seon, can we finish this podcast and maybe like... It doesn't have to be a happy story, but maybe something that's not quite as upsetting as that.
Sure. Okay. Sorry. I don't think I have a funny story. I probably do, but I'm on the trauma train now. It's too late.
Well, you came in with a trauma list, so I feel like you've kind of like
I think I've gotten through everything on my list plus some extra. So there you go.
Oh, beautiful. Well, not beautiful.
This was a wonderful therapy session. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I will bill you at the end. This is not free, this one.
Can I pay you in 2 exposers?
Yes. Amazing. Are they worthwhile?
Sure.
Also, I just want to preface this by saying exposure is like a joke in the film industry.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to flash him.
Yes.
Oh, my God. No.
Nope, you've already said that on recording. I will take 2 flashings, please. We're also in, just for a little peek behind the curtain again, in a fairly, like, visible space as well.
Well, I've got the board here.
You do. You have a board, but people can see in. So if you're going to flash me in the middle of... I'm not going to say where we record, but in a very public area.
What, you think all your fans will come and storm it?
No, I think we'll get kicked out, if I'm being honest with you.
Oh, that's fair. Okay.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
So wait till we're in private, you bloody creep.
I'm not going to flash you.
I'm going to edit that part out. No, this sounds even weirder. Let's finish this podcast. How about that, Seon? Fuck, I feel like I've dug myself so many graves in this fucking episode. This episode's going to be released at...
Never.
18 minutes of just me saying normal, regular human being things, okay?
Was there any of that in this, though?
Absolutely fucking not.
Okay,
no.
well, there you go.
No. But thank you again for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Now, if people want to keep up to date with your, was it 37 theatre shows a year, did you say?
Yeah, 37, yeah.
So if they want to see any of them, where can they find that? Where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at the moment. I am currently taking a break to focus on writing, because that's what I'm doing at the moment.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Aren't you cool that you get to take breaks from thing? I'm taking a break from theatre as well. Why not? I'll say it.
On purpose?
No.
Yep.
No. Yes, it's on purpose. Sure. But yeah, that's awesome. So you're writing your memoirs? Sorry, I'll stop doing this just now. I'm so sorry.
You mean stop being a dick? I don't think you can.
Fair.
Writing like a bunch of stuff, and it just feels really nice to sort of, I guess,
take a fucking break.
Yeah, that too, but also like have a different sort of creative focus for a while.
Because like I know we made a joke, 37 theatre shows a year, but you, I think probably out of everyone I know, do the most theatre shows in a year.
Well, here's the other thing. I don't know if this made the podcast, whatever though.
Yeah.
Last year I actually took a 9-month break because I had like a cute little mentee bee because I had been working for 18 months straight and I was literally losing my mind.
Unsurprising, because theatre,
it's draining.
Fucking takes much from you.
And then I came back and did 2 shows this year.
Nice.
And afterwards, I was like, oh, fuck, I haven't fully recovered from my cute little mentee bee.
Yeah.
I need a little bit more time. That was a lot to have done. So, yeah. Also, because one of them was like an outdoors, super physical, and it was just very exhausting.
Stop doing things outdoors, people.
I know.
Stop putting us outdoors. There's indoor spaces for a reason. I don't want to do Shakespeare under the stars. I fucking hate the stars and Shakespeare. Probably why I'm not invited to do either.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yes, sorry. We've really taken that on a slight tangent again, but where can people find you?
Instagram.
Keep up to date with you, yes.
Really, Seon W.
Yep, perfect. This will be in the show notes as well.
Yes, so that's pretty much, yeah.
I'm also going to link Stalk as well. Stalked?
Stalk.
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 Yes, sorry. I'll learn how to speak English one day.
And link That's Batman.
I'll link That's
let's
Batman
compare
too,
the view
yep.
numbers.
I also how dare you? I also want you were in the first episode or one of the episodes of White Fever as well.
I was in, I think episode 3 of White Fever,
3,
which is currently on ABC iView.
Yes, that's also going to be linked in the show notes as well. So go and support the ABC people.
Yeah.
All right. I know nobody likes to watch terrestrial TV anymore, but some of us get work on there, so we need it, please. Also, Rat Chapman. Chapman. I don't know why I said it like that.
No, neither do I.
No.
Rat Chapman's amazing.
Yeah, sorry. Rat Chapman. No, sorry.
Do you need a nap?
I need so many naps.
Yeah.
But incredibly talented writer and performer in that as well. Yep. But yes, so keep an eye out for any upcoming, maybe written things from Seon.
Possibly, hopefully.
Exciting.
Writing's hard.
Yeah, it is. It sucks, and it's boring, and it takes up a lot of time, and it's tiring. Nobody gives you accolades for when you're doing it as well.
No, you're sitting there on your own, staring at your laptop,
Yeah.
like, oh god.
Have I done anything today? What is this? What
I wrote
time
like
of day
10
is it?
words.
I hate this. I hate everything I've just written as well. But yes, sorry, as well. The same as every week, you can find me on Seb Muirhead on Instagram and YouTube. Won't be forgetting that pod across most social media platforms. If you did like the show, review it 5 stars, subscribe, tell a friend. There's a Patreon as well if you'd like to jump on there. Won't be forgetting that pod on Patreon. Seon, I'm maybe in Adelaide when this episode is released, maybe getting there soon. So if you're in Adelaide and you have kids, come along and see Dinosaur Time Machine as part of Glenelg Winter Festival from the 9th to the 14th of July. Is that correct? I don't know why I'm asking you.
Why are you asking me? I
don't
no
know.
idea.
This is going to be in the show notes as well. And then also Ancestry Road is a feature film that I was in. Releasing in cinemas later in the year. The trailer, it's in the show notes. Give it a little watch. Comment on it if you think my Scottish accent's any good in it.
You mean your accent, the way you speak?
Well, I thought I was Irish.
Shut up, Sam.
Thank you, damn it. Sam Muirhead signing off. Thank you so much again, Seon.
You're very welcome.